Hi folks, welcome back to Week 7 Support Operations in our Introduction to Maritime Careers and Opportunities course. We're in Week 7 and we're here in our org chart, and we're going to be looking at the design, build, safety, security, HR, legal, and regulatory things from here forward. We're going to take a little piece of it today and focus on the cargo planning, brokerage, and maritime insurance. We're going to deal with admiralty law, legal stuff, the port and terminal operations in week 11 and 12. But for today, cargo planning, I believe there's actual jobs out there for you. If you're looking for an entry-level job in the business, cargo planning is a great place to start. We also have brokerage services here in New Orleans, and we have ship's husbandry associated with them. And I want to give you a primer on maritime insurance. Let's start with cargo planner. A great job, and here's the importance of it. Ships come and go, and they discharge tons of cargo. They supplement the cargo that's already loaded on board. It's crucial for stability and safety that it's done correctly. Otherwise, there's a risk of harm to the ship, its crew, and the port. So the job of the cargo planner is to make sure that not only is it done safely, but it's done efficiently. You want to put the box in the right place on the ship, and it has to be stowed correctly. So that ship cargo planner essentially ensures that these goods and cargoes are loaded and uploaded, and that they reach the destination in the correct state. You notice these boxes. Some of them have dangerous, hazardous materials in them, and sometimes certain hazardous materials cannot be loaded next to another hazardous material, or it's very heavy, so it needs to be loaded deep in the ship, where it's better for that ship's stability. So the cargo planner does all that work. You're assessing it, you assess the suitability of the ship, you allocate terminal handling equipment, you organize adequate storage. And you communicate. Look over here in the picture. This is old school, but still done all the time. This is break bulk cargo. It's a bagged cargo. It's being loaded on the ship in pallets. And you see this wood here. These are the stevedores down the ship loading it. The cargo planner allocated all of this cargo for this ship, and this wood is called dunnage. Dunnage is wood that we add to the cargo in order to stabilize it. So the cargo planner would have specified that dunnage between the pallets had to be there in order for it not to crush the other pallet below it. So the cargo planner needed to learn about the weights and the balances of the ship and the cargo and thereafter. They also use software. In the case of container ships, a very sophisticated software to make sure that the ship is loaded properly and it adheres to international safety codes for cargoes. So the cargo planning job is complex, and you can do it right here in New Orleans. Here's the Port of New Orleans website. It's a great place to get a job. They are a thriving container terminal, and they have cargo planners working there today. And there's probably great internship opportunities there as well. I wanted a little focus on internships because I noticed when I was looking through the different places that provide these types of cargo planning services, a lot of them advertise that they do internships. Cooper T. Smith and Cooper Consolidated, we talked about before. Their focus is on bulk cargo, midstream operations, predominantly here on the Mississippi River. But Cooper Smith, for all of their size, is nothing compared to ADM. ADM is a gigantic company. They own the majority of the grain terminals on the Mississippi River are owned by Archer Daniels Midland. Bulk cargo, and their particulars on grain. They do pet coke, they do coal, they do numerous cargoes. They also have a thriving internship program. I'm going to show you a picture of it shortly. Zen-Noh Grain, Japanese competitor to ADM. They also have docks here on the Mississippi River, and they do grain bulk cargo. Exxon, of course, you've heard of them, but also there's British Petroleum and Dow Chemical. They're doing petrochemical here on the Mississippi River. They have docks, and they need cargo planners as well. And then there's the Port of New Orleans that we started this whole conversation with. ADM, they have internships. They have a student center. You can go to their website. Just type in ADM. I did it. It's easy to get there. They talk about internships in all of their areas, from accounting to process research engineering, all the way through. The internships I saw today, they had 9 advertised on their website today. Of them, 3 looked entry level, and the rest looked like they required some sort of technical discipline in order to get into the internship. Zen-Noh Grain. They're right here on Highway 190. Zen-Noh Grain is a great company, Japanese company, and they have cargo planners working in that building on Highway 190 for their cargo grain terminals that are along the river. And they also have a brokerage trading floor where companies like Zen-Noh Grain go out into the field and they buy farmers' crops sometimes before they're even planted. And they make offers to farmers, and they make a contract and a deal, and for a set price, they speculate upon that cargo. And then in the brokerage floor, they do spot trading and futures trading on their own cargoes to try to maximize the value of the cargo as they ship it around the world. So it's a very dynamic business, and it's right here in town. I thought you'd recognize the building. It's right past the hospital on Highway 190 as you're heading from Mandeville towards Covington. Brokerage. Brokerage is a financial service. It forms part of this global shipping industry. They're specialist intermediaries. They negotiate between ship owners and charterers to use ships to transport cargo. And that's essentially what a brokerage does. And here in New Orleans, we have brokerage services. And the brokerage services are often commingled with the ship's husbandry groups and the shipping agencies. Ship's husbandry is the act of taking care of a ship. It's like being the father for a ship, if you will. I think that's why they call it ship's husbandry. And you take care of its water, its fuel, its people, its local transportation, its need for tugboats, any special thing it might need. That's done through a shipping agency. So when a ship comes to port, they hire an agent to represent them, and that's how they get their customs forms filled out and their cargo forms filled out, and they get everything they need from personnel transportation to food, water, and fuel taken care of for their voyage. This is the largest local shipping agency in New Orleans, Blue Water Shipping. They're also in Mobile, Texas. They have operations in the Pacific now. They're a really large company and great place to work, I understand. I haven't done a lot of direct business with them, but I have done business with the pilots, and the pilots have to do business with Blue Water Shipping quite regularly. Because if there's a problem on the ship, the first thing you say is, call your agent. And the agent will take care of the problem for you. So there's a lot of junior entry-level positions. It's a very demanding job working as a ship agent. The ships are very needy. It's a 24-hour job. But if it's something that you would want to do, I understand it's also quite lucrative, and it's a very rewarding profession to get into. So perhaps there's internship opportunities. When I met an intern that was at Blue Water Shipping, they happened to be from the Kings Point, but all is well. I think that they would be open to anyone. You just have to show an interest. And then the last thing is a little primer here on maritime insurance. I'd like to speak to you about Lloyd's of London, generally just known as Lloyd's. It's an insurance market located in London's financial district. But it isn't a single insurance company. It's a mutualized marketplace with multiple financial backers grouped up in what they call a syndicate. And these syndicates are there to bet on losses. Essentially, they'll put up money, and they pool that money to spread the risk out. Just as an example, in 2014, there were 94 syndicates. They wrote £25 billion worth of gross premiums. And they had 219 Lloyd's brokers working for them, selling insurance from different companies out to ships. And they made almost a little over £3.5 billion of profit. Wow. That's about $3 billion right now in today's market. It's a very, once again, lucrative and complex business. If you wanted to get into the maritime insurance business, I would recommend that you look for, at a minimum, a 4-year degree in business and perhaps a maritime academy, or look towards an admiralty law background or something that does investigations in the industry for insurance. Lloyd's knows that education is very important, and they have teamed up with some companies and created their own Maritime Institute, where they train maritime insurance brokers, assessors. They run online training. It's very dynamic. There's a lot happening with Lloyd's Maritime. And I have known some people that have taken their courses. They're very good, and they're certification based. So they have everything from insurance auditors, fraud investigators, to attorneys who litigate on behalf of the ship owners or who litigate on behalf of the insurers. So it's a very dynamic business. It's a huge business. Without it, the maritime industry would fall apart. So marine insurance is essential. So if you're just thinking personally, how about a job? Probably one of the most direct, straightforward ones would be to be a cargo planner. If you're looking for a shoreside position, and or scheduler, you could work for a ship's agent right here in New Orleans. And there, probably after working with the agent, work yourself into the ship's brokerage business. And maritime insurance is a whole nother endeavor. It's out there. We have a bunch of companies right here in New Orleans that write marine insurance, and then we have Lloyd's, and a lot of them are also affiliated with Lloyd's. So if you were asked right now, what's the role of the maritime cargo planner, I hope you could answer that. I hope you'd also be able to answer, what is two companies to look for a job in maritime logistics and planning in New Orleans? What's ship's husbandry? What maritime function does the company Blue Water Shipping fulfill in New Orleans? And what is Lloyd's of London, and what function does it provide to the maritime industry? If you can answer these couple questions, I think you're going to do great on our quiz, and I look forward to looking over your quiz, and I hope that you have learned a little bit something new today, and you've broadened your horizons, and we'll look forward to our product for next week. Thank you all, and have a good day.